One.
Welcome everyone to the We Not Boxed In podcast. This is your host, Melvin Levin, aka the Helicopter. We wait for our co-host, well actually our co-host for tonight, which is actually our main host, and our special guest this evening, Casimir Wright. But just jump right into the show this evening. It's the We Not Boxed In podcast, episode 5, sponsored by On Impact Recruiting Services. Bonnie Water, and as you see tonight's sponsor, the STEM Lab, the place where kids have fun. Big news all around sports, local, national, just about every sport you can think of. There's something going on. There's World Cup news and everything. But we're going to jump right into some local news here with the University of Cincinnati Bearcats with this new grant house settlement that takes place here July 1st. It's kind of like, the free agency market opens up in the NBA July 1st. So there's a lot of things taking place as well as in college ranks as well, too. And it's going to affect, obviously colleges around the country because this is the new NIL settlement. Again, the grant house settlement that takes place here July 1st, where, again, they're going to restructure, the NIL situations and the deals and contracts, so to speak, for the athletes now in Division I sports. Power Four schools will receive a now $20.5 million cap, which will increase each year. And that money is to be kind of spread out amongst each sport, which, probably at the University of Cincinnati, I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth. I'm not, throwing out any facts out there that I don't know. I'm just speculating that possibly, the football team and the men's basketball team will probably get the majority of those funds, where the rest will be distributed amongst, other entities like their own campus. Which, we talked about the NIL situation and we talked about how things were kind of getting, a little out of hand with, guys signing for, multi-million dollar, deals to play college basketball or college football, whatever it is, without even putting on the gear. Those were funny conversations with me and some other former players of mine that I know, that I still conversate with, that, these guys were getting money that, and they haven't even proven themselves at all at any universities. To see that there has been a cap on it, which will, should help. Schools will be able to now get donations directly from boosters. I think that was something that was not able to be done before. One of the other things that kind of struck me, which was kind of interesting, I heard it, maybe I may have a chance to fall under this back pay, so to speak, for former student athletes who lost NIL opportunities. We've talked about this many times with different people, different fans around town. I was just at a golf outing today. Shout out to the Unforgettables, David Coleman and Jared Steele, who do a wonderful job with that organization. The golf outing today was out in Springboro. And we were just talking and making jokes about the NIL process, and some of the peers were saying, man, no, you probably would have cleaned up during that time. And thinking about some of the, maybe theatrics or entertaining things that I was maybe possibly able to put on, or maybe the many nicknames that I was able to possibly could have gone a little bit of NIL. But to see that there was a $2.8 billion amount in back pay for athletes, all right, that's from 2016 to the present time, which I think that's kind of cool for them to kind of set those funds aside and kind of go backwards a little bit. That will be spread out over the next 10 years to athletes who competed college athletics, obviously, in 2016 to present. Speaking with a couple University of Cincinnati basketball players at that time at basketball camp 2 weeks ago, we were kind of laughing about the fact that, will they make their claim for this? Because there was a filing date to be eligible for back pay for former athletes. They had to apply by January 31st of 25. Come to find out, some of those guys would not be able to receive it because they were not in Power 5 school at the time. It's just like, so thanks for coming to the party, but you can't eat any of the snacks or drink any of the lunch or anything like that. So kind of thought that was like, but again, that's something cool that the NCAA has done to kind of look after what possibly some of these athletes could have garnished again back in the day whenever they're playing. Students again with these NIL deals, they still can make NIL deals from endorsements, sponsorships, other opportunities related to their name, image, and likeness. Twitter, actually X, I'm sorry, formerly Twitter, Instagram posts, Facebook posts, videos, things like that. They're kind of those things. But any deal over $600, they must report that and go through an accounting firm so they sure everything is, counting within lines and things like that. So, it's exciting to hear the opportunities now related to this NIL bill. NCAA roster limits now change. Football increases from 85 to 105. The baseball goes from 11.7, which maybe rounded up to 11, actually 12, goes to 34. And then men's basketball goes from 13 to 15, which, I kind of always thought they had 15 on the roster, but looking back, there were a couple walk-on positions. So maybe now they're talking at 15 for scholarship athletes now being able to participate on the basketball roster. So again, that can make the roster pretty formidable from the top to bottom. So again, exciting news, on the college basketball, college football, college athletics front across the board. All these different changes now will start to benefit a little bit more across the board when it comes down to revenue sharing. And that's what this whole thing was all about. These young athletes to the antitrust. I said it was a violation of the antitrust rules and laws as far as revenue sharing. So they wanted their piece, and so just like the O'Bannon situation going back to my playing days and before, they made a move and they put the foot down and made things happen. So congrats to all the athletes now who's under this whole NIL deal situation. I know it's an exciting opportunity for a lot of the athletes to be paid for their likeness now. So being an ambassador, I feel like that opportunity, I say, congrats, and I wish I was there with you now. It's a good deal. But again, moving on a little bit, which again kind of goes down the line with the new NIL process. Our football entity, which I think, as I said to a couple of people down there when I first saw the facility being down there for the grand opening, I said we're definitely going to steal some recruits. We're going to have some guys come in here across the board, every sport, young ladies as well, and we're going to steal some people away from some others because this facility is everything that you need as a Division I athlete to accomplish and achieve the next dream. Even make a reference to even not being drafted to the next level. You still have an opportunity 4 years to really train your body, and work with yourself professionally for possibly a free deal. When I say this thing is wall to wall with just about everything you can imagine, it is stacked with just every piece of workout equipment, every recovery thing that you can think of. Again, it's just amazing. I wish I could show the videos, but for some that's been down there, I think you have seen it. It is amazing. And again, for us to have that right there in the heart of Clifton, right here in the city of Cincinnati, 136 something $1 million facility, man, right there in front of Clifton is amazing. So it's exciting again, lead into our next segment, our next subject about the UC football team and what's expected of them this next season here in the Big 12. It's exciting. Got some guys here that are making some preseason accolades and things like that. Got some roster changes and stuff like that. Obviously, with transfers, new coaches, and things like that. So it's pretty exciting for Bearcat football. It's around the corner. Can't wait for those Saturday afternoons, man, down there. Then maybe we can get another day night, something like that. We're gonna take a break here. The We Not Boxed In podcast, sponsored again by On Impact Recruiting Services, Body Water, and tonight it's sponsored STEM Lab a place where kids have fun. Also, Bubble Epic, also one of the sponsors here of the show. We'll be back here soon.
All right.
We're back to the We Not Boxed In podcast, sponsored by Morning Patrick Cooney Services, Potty Water, and the STEM Lab. Tonight's sponsor, the place where kids know how to have fun, where the kids, place where kids have fun. Sitting at break there as we were waiting again to have our special guest. He's arrived now and kind of getting himself situated. So we'll jump back into a couple of dates here locally that's going on. First and foremost, July 17th, we have the Celebrity Softball Classic taking place over at the Florence Young Stadium. I think the first pitch is maybe 5:30. I could be wrong about that. But it's going to be a great event. Cincinnati Bengals All-Stars versus the Celebrities. And as a celebrity myself, I got a chance to play in that game last year. This amazing game is the 35th annual Celebrity Softball Classic. Amazing tournament put on for charity. I got an opportunity to play in it with some fellow Bearcats last year. There's going to be some fellow Bearcats in it this year. And again, one being our special guest tonight, Cashmere Wright, but notably as well, Sean Meyer will be joining as well. Corey Blunt will be returning. Andre Tate will be returning as well. Justin Jackson, you guys remember that name from our Bearcat basketball past. You know, he was the leaper out there. Kind of reminded me of a tall myself, you know, because I was only 6'4", 6'3" and a half, really getting up there doing my thing, you know. But some of these guys that had this 6'7" length, it was kind of cool to see them the same type of jumping ability and athletic ability to get up and do their thing. So Justin Jackson will be joining the game as well. A couple other notables that we'll get into as well as we finish out the show that will be a part of the game as well. But again, it's going to be a fun-filled evening full of Bengals, former Bengals, former radio, TV personalities here in the city of Cincinnati and current as well. Former Cincinnati legends, athletes that went on to other universities to do their things respectively, and now are back for this wonderful event taking place here in the next couple of weeks. So we'll keep you posted as to any updates or any changes, so to speak. Tickets are on sale now, so make sure we get out there and get a couple. Make sure you get to the game. I got 10 of them myself. All right, so here's what I'm going to do right now. I got 10 tickets to this 35th annual Celebrity Softball Classic. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be action-packed. Hopefully the weather is great. So Mr. Horsemeyer over there, Channel 9, Stevie, who's going to be there as well. Let's get some good weather that night, man, because, you know, I went deep. I went real deep last year, all right? And I'm calling my shot again this year. I'm going to take another one out, all right? My baseball name is Going Deep, all right? So I got to live up to that part, all right? So make sure, again, you tap in. All right, here we go. I got 10 tickets to the game, all right? Those of you that follow me socially, those of you don't, if you do not follow me socially, here's an opportunity for you to also. Love 11 Facebook, Love 11 Skills Training on Instagram, or Bearcat Jam on X. Okay, so here's what we're going to do so I can spread this thing out. I'll give 3 away on X. I'm going to give 3 away on IG, and I'll give 3 away on Facebook. And then the lucky last one, probably just sit real close to the dugout. So that's going to be a real special. So we're going to just send that without possibly randomly to one of the biggest Melvin 11 helicopter fans out there. So make sure you tap into the social media to maybe possibly snatch up one of those tickets. All right, moving on a little bit. Get back to my Bearcats. Again, we talked about NIL response in a new Grand House settlement, which again, we're talking about our football program, which, you know, I think that's going to really expand. It's a great opportunity again with this new facility, new the athletic facility, for us to really tap into some high-level recruits across the nation in every sport. I think again, this facility provides just about everything again that you want as an athlete. I said to myself, they would have to find different ways to kick me out of this place because I would keep finding ways to sneak in and just hang out extra long than my time supposedly or after supposedly lockup is. But it is amazing and it's great to see again. We've been a university on the cusp, on the brink for a long time nationally with products. Definitely sports have taken a jump. But our facilities have been something that, we've kind of struggled with over the years. And now to see where our facilities are, it's amazing. So we're looking like a lot of other places look. We have a lot of things on paper that a lot of other schools now have that we can offer to young athletes now at this stage. So again, it's very exciting to be in the Big 12, ready to start really competing again at the high level. So you becoming Division One athletes out there that's looking for a place to go that may not get that big time scholarship as I'm speaking when I say the traditional blue blood schools being the Dukes, the Carolinas, and Kentuckies. There's some places here around town as well. It's not talking about them at all, but we're going to focus on just our one school here that we really love, which is the UC Bearcats. We are again providing a space where again it's comfortable for our students to thrive, in a very very competitive atmosphere. So again, if you're looking for a place to come, again have everything at your disposal and have yourself ready after your maybe 2-year stint or your 4-year stint. The University of Cincinnati is a place to be. You're going to be seen nationally. You're going to compete nationally at a very high and a very elite level. So again, you don't have to really look for those lofty dreams that are sometimes out of your reach, and that's the things really under your nose and under your fingertips. So I'm speaking to a lot of the local athletes as well. Think about home. Think about sticking around. You don't have to take it across the country. You got something in your backyard to be proud of right now. So we're very, very excited about that. Again, our football team garnishing some, preseason honors, Big 12 honors on the offensive, and defensive side of the ball. So that's, very exciting that, we're getting that national recognition. Guys that are obviously putting in the work and athletically are, worth the billing. So that's exciting, and, to see that, again, we're getting that national notice. Dante Corleone, returning, one of our key returners on defense, is one of the most notable as far as, all Big 12. I think he's possibly second team. One of our other team leaders that's coming back, all Big 12 tight end, Joe Royer. Our quarterback, who's a big piece. You got to have a quarterback to run the offense and run your team. So Brendan Swordsby is one of our key returners, obviously, on the offensive side of the ball. I'm not sure if he made any preseason honors at all, but Evan Pryor as well, returning running back, should definitely make waves this year with the offense being last year in 2024, ranked 6th in the Big 12, averaging 420 yards a game. So we're looking to add to that this year, obviously, with some transfers in from the portal, along with some other notable returning guys. But again, speaking of some of our guys who, again, made it Big 12 honors, Tavon Tayo, Joe Cotton, offensive tackle, Matthew McDougall, some defensive back, Howie Walker, running back. I think it's a transfer in 14 honors. Jake Golden, linebacker, returning linebacker, 14 honors. Who else? Jeff Paul, receiving 3rd team. Max Fletcher, our punter, 17. So yeah, man, we've been looking forward to seeing these guys perform. It's exciting to see that again. Our guys are getting that notoriety. I was down there seeing that facility, looking at those video boards, man, and just seeing the hoop around the football program. It's pretty cool. Looking to get back to that dominance and that bold prominence that we were used to. And I think this is going to be one of those good starts going into the 2025 season, to kind of kick those things off. So with the Bearcats, we're looking for some big things. We'll be speaking more about the University of Cincinnati Bearcats basketball, women's basketball, and football program as well. We'll delve into some other sports as well as baseball and things like that later in the show. We're going to kind of get things ready here for our special guest, who again is a big time face here in the city of Cincinnati. He is now the coach for the Walnut Hills Eagles and a former University of Cincinnati Bearcat basketball elite athlete. We'll be coming back with Mr. Casper Wright. This is the We Not Box In podcast. I'm your host tonight, Melvin Levitt, sponsored by On Impact Recruiting Services, Honey Water, and the STEM Lab. And welcome back, people. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Melvin Levitt, your host tonight on the We Not Boxing podcast, sponsored by On Impact Recruiting Services, Finding Water. And tonight's special guest sponsor, the STEM Lab, the place where kids have fun. Very, very excited about this next segment here. I feel like I'm at home right now a little bit, so I'm gonna be real loose on this. I'm not gonna be so, uptight and things like that. I got a little, comfort blanket here, as they say. You know what I'm saying? With this guy sitting next to me, Mr. Cashmere, right? One of our most notable, elite, legend basketball stars that has graced the presence of the University of Cincinnati. Cash played at a time where it was really hard. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, Big East, right?
That's right.
All right, now come on now.
Real Big East.
Come on now.
We talking Syracuse.
Come on now.
UConn.
Go ahead, give me some more.
Pitt.
Come on, man.
Villanova.
See,
Louisville. Georgetown. Keep going.
those
Syracuse.
those teams again. That's what you were watching. ESPN night after night, or those Saturday afternoons, or maybe on CBS. Top notch teams, top notch programs with top notch coaches, top notch competition. So Kaz put it down at a time, man, where again, each of those schools had exceptional athletes. So there was some wars that took place between the University of Cincinnati and some of those Big East schools. I know Marquette being one of the most notable, right? If I'm not mistaken, I know Marquette go back to my days, early Huggins days, and they've always been a program that's always been great. But I know in that Big East, joining that was crazy. So if you can, man, just talk a little bit about that experience there.
It was probably one of the best experiences I ever had. Think about it. You got to play against real competition every single night. Played against Jimmy Butler. This was before everybody knew who Jimmy Butler was, for sure. A sheet to beat. You played against Michael Kidd Gilchrist. Against everybody.
Was Wade at the time?
No, Wade is. Come on, that's Wade.
Oh, that was Logan.
Yeah.
Logan. No, sorry.
It's like 03.
Okay.
Wayne's 04.
Okay.
Oh, you ready?
Oh, 99. I was before.
No.
I would
had like a good years though.
Well, I had some good years. I mean, I'm before they made you pack up all the water, stock up all the water. It told you before you 1 or 2K comes, 2,000 comes. Lights don't go out there. So I'm before that time. You know what I mean? So I really just showed my age, but it's all good. I'm embracing my age, embracing my time, and again, I got an opportunity, man, to really be spoiled and play with some really good guys like you talk about. Playing against some really good schools and good talent at the same time on the team. What would you say probably was one of your biggest moments or your biggest memories here at university?
Two of them. One of them would be like selfishly is the Alabama shot at the buzzer.
Notably.
Yeah. Second one would be beating Florida State going to Sweet 16. Hitting nice little spin move, getting the guy the ball, getting on balance to make the shot.
Bad work.
Yeah.
As they call bad work nowadays, you youngsters. I know y'all use that term a lot. So Cash is one of those guys that had that bad work. Definitely. And that shot against Alabama, that took place here, right? Here in Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Yes. So I know that had to be, an amazing feeling. I had an opportunity to hit a buzzer beater myself, but it was, clear across the map, way over in Alaska. We only had about 20 people there. But it was a cool moment, but I wish it was something like that, at home, man, where, you get a shot like that at home, man. Come on, man. I know that
You got home,
I wasn't there. I wasn't there at the game to experience, to see what the crowd was like. Can you tell me what the crowd was like when you hit that shot? Can you tell me what it actually really felt
All
like?
right, so here's the funny part, right? So, actually shooting the ball, I shot it with 7 foot. So I fell on the ground. I actually never saw the ball going.
Oh,
See, that's the part that people don't realize. When you watch me on them, you watch me. Everybody else is celebrating. I'm kind of confused on what's going on.
okay.
I never saw the ball actually go in the hoop. So that's the best part about it. Just seeing the reaction of everybody else. That you truly being surprised like that you was just happy.
But that moment though, good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's something that,
You do as a kid.
yeah, you know what I mean. And have the opportunity, man, to be, the hero. I know it was pretty special for you now, so I know that would be pretty cool. Again, just staying with a little bit about the University of Cincinnati basketball program. What was one of the things that really drew you to the brink?
We gotta go back to y'all days. 99 2000, talking about you guys, we talking about Kenyon Martin. I was a big Van Nixon fan. He probably don't realize that, but probably one of my favorite players growing up.
You got quick?
What, Nick?
So you hear that quick?
Yeah. By far,
Big fan right here, man.
one of my favorite players growing up. It was exciting to watch how you guys played, the intensity you played with, and of course that Jordan logo, the Jordans you guys played with, and we loved it.
That was always it.
So just the mindset that I could be a part of resurrecting that, bringing that back, and showing the flair and the heart and the love that what Cincinnati people love, that grit that we play with.
Yeah, it's definitely an attitude, man. Being a Bearcat is it's a lifestyle.
It's a mindset.
It's not something that you can pretend. People can see right through it. You know what I mean? They know what the expectation of, when it comes to being a Bearcat. So yeah, there's no faking it. You talk about the brand and things like that, and the allure of what guys did before to kind of inspire you. And just kind of before you came on, I was speaking about the whole new change with the athletic facility down there, and then this whole new NIL process. Just again tapping into that as an athlete, how did you think about when it came to recruiting and the recruiting process? How did you think about the University of Cincinnati when it came to national prominence or being on the national stage?
All right, so I guess my story and your story probably a little different. When I got there, they were on a kind of down. You got Huggins left. You got Kennedy was in there for a little while. Cronin was rebuilding with his team. So you got I was there, and my mindset was, like I told you before, I wanted to bring it back to what it was. And I remember, watching 10 years old, watching you guys play.
That's crazy, man. And he's actually, I hear from fans a lot about, how old they were, what they were doing, certain things took place. Man, to actually sit next to a former player and to hear him say that he actually watched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The peer appreciation is amazing. I tell these kids all the time, if you got a peer that appreciates you, man, for what you do, whether if you are a comedian, whether if you are just a good person or something athletically, that is the most self-esteem building thing to me.
Yeah.
Because again, man, you have someone again that's walking the same walk as you, but look at you like, you did it a different way. And I'm trying to, maybe take it to that next level at the same time as you, same way you did.
Basically, that's what it was. Let me say, growing up in Georgia, we saw Cincinnati, we saw the flair, we saw the Georgians, we saw the dunks, of course, we saw King blocking the ball out of bounds. We saw all that, right?
Correct.
And then they come, they get here, and they have the choice to actually get to Cincinnati and be a part of something that actually brought it back to what it used to be. It was like everything to me, because that was my whole goal when I got here, was to make sure when I left that at the end of the day we were going to be back to where we were supposed to be. And Cincinnati, I felt like when I left, that we were back at the top, and people knew that Cincinnati was one of those programs again.
You definitely want to be part, man. You definitely want to leave some type of legacy, and again talk about the long list of players, some that you mentioned that when we were off the air. There's a long line and long history of guys here at the University of Cincinnati, man, and to have your name stamped, at a certain level, as far as what you did and respected, on that level, man, it's special because it's not easy. It's a place where, again, you got to earn it. No matter who you played for, it wasn't given to you. It was something that you had to go out and work for, man, and having that staple and having that brand, that sequel label, so to speak, man, it meant a whole lot. I know it meant more than just, the uniform to me. You know what I'm saying? It went rain deep. So again, in thinking about the recruiting process, my idea was, I don't have to even though they didn't recruit me. Duke, Carolina, and Kentucky, those were the only three schools I didn't get recruited by. Um, I felt like I still didn't have to go to those places.
Who's three?
Duke, Carolina, and Kentucky.
All right, what school would you say when you growing up was your favorite school?
Oh man, hey, Bearcat fans, they make me mad at me.
No, that's not good.
Growing up, oh man, I love Carolina.
And they never agreed you. All right,
Hey.
similar story. Similar story. I'm from Georgia, man. I didn't get recruited, like I got recruited by everybody else. I'm a top 75 recruit in high school, right? So the place I really wanted to go to, Georgia Tech, never got it.
Oh,
Never got Georgia.
crazy.
I
That's
got North Carolina State, never got North Carolina. I got Clemson, South Carolina, never got Duke.
That's crazy.
So out of all the places that I truly wanted to go, and I'm talking about Georgia, I got the offer from Georgia on the first day you can get one, right? First call he made. And in my mind, I'm thinking Georgia Tech is next. Never happened. Never happened.
Do you think that was probably due to positioning what they had on his team at the time? Because I was at Oak Hill Academy with Ron Mercer.
They got me on Shumpert. He was there with them.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I was with Ron Mercer at Oak Hills for the time that I was out there and I spent. And I was thinking, well, I got that scholarship or that offer that I was playing with Ron. You know, Kentucky, you know what I mean? But looking at what they had on that squad, him, Derek Anderson, Steak Epps, Turner, you were so guard loaded.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have got no time.
It worked out.
I wouldn't, so it worked out perfect. So it wasn't like that again. I wanted to go to Kentucky or anything like that. Again, if there was a dream that would have really came true, the Carolina Blue, following the colors of my high school, Villa Angela St. Joe, and then moving on to Euclid. But it was just something about the allure of Carolina basketball, and these stuff, obviously Jordan, folklore, you know, all that stuff. But they just had this thing that I was just attracted to. But when meeting Bob Huggins, that came along, it was over. Nobody else had a chance. I still received letters and recruit opportunities from people, but all 5 visits were here to the University of Cincinnati. I signed as a junior. You know what I mean? I shut it off. It was over, man. It was like, you know what? Because I realized as I was trying to get some other students to realize that you don't have to really try to shoot again across the country or try to really go after that one lofty scholarship when you got something that's as prominent as the University of Cincinnati under your nose.
That's right.
And I thought about it at the time. I'm thinking about all these different places. Yes, I jumped over Columbus and came right down here. That's because what they had going on in Columbus and Ohio State at that time wasn't as appealing as what Coach Huggins had going on here with UC. So with that whole idea, it was like, I can compete nationally.
Right.
I'm wearing Nike.
Yeah.
I'm 4 hours away from home, you know, which family can still see me and things like that. And I'm going to be seen on just about every, you know, channel. So at the end of the day, all those things that you look for as a young athlete that you want to be a part of, University of Cincinnati had. So, and I think that's now even more so with getting that Big 12, you know. And
I think the part that people don't realize is the best part about being at University of Cincinnati is there's no protein, right?
yes,
So
true.
what happens is that we are truly, University of Cincinnati is the protein. So if you're successful at this school, you pretty much, like us right now, you pretty much can live on being who you are at that school, just like you're in the NBA program, all right? As long as you do it the right way, you make the right connections, you talk to the right people, you're not an ass.
True.
Being
I
honest.
make a very, very, very valid point because I've been able to kind of, you know, even though I didn't have the NBA playing career some of the other guys did, or even maybe the overseas playing career, I've been able to obviously talk about do the right things, keep my nose clean, and stay around the right people and stuff like that, and which presents opportunities like this, and opportunities that I'm getting now at 49, where I feel like, you know, before, like maybe in the early late 20s, early 30s, things were moving a little slow, and I'm kind of like, well, why am I not getting those opportunities like I should? Because like they say, it gets greater later. So for the fact that I was able to kind of do those things early, you know, obviously again, I'm doing these things now later because of this. So it's a blessing, man, to be honestly. And like you said, the legacy of the University of Cincinnati, it probably won't be, anywhere else like it is here. If I did go somewhere else, man, that's the last part about, you know, thinking of how things may have worked out had you not been here. Legacy will not be the same, I don't think, it's somewhere else if I would have went.
I got you. Now I'm gonna put you on the spot though.
Yep.
Top 5 Bearcats. Who you got?
Oh, my job. Oh, man.
I know you got friends.
I didn't
I
know I was
know
gonna
you
get
got
it.
friends, and I know they gonna be like, hey,
Yeah,
they know you ain't pick me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to be biased or anything like that. I think I have been around for a while and kind of view this type of
You sure you gonna put yourself on the list?
popularity contest, and that's the funny part about it. I'm not on any of those lists. What I'm saying? I don't put myself on any of those lists. I let other people argue those facts. I do, as you said, um, watching the appreciation of the guys when you hit the shot, seeing how they responded, how happy they were. That's just how I was without, my opportunities when I played and then playing with the guys I played with. I told you, man, I was sweet. I mean, my first year, man, I come in, I got Danny Fortson and David Ford. You know what I mean? That's
People don't realize how good Flint was.
man, come on. I wish Flint would have took off and left after his junior year. Like after he did what he did in the Sweet 16 against Stephon Marbury, he was the prototypical guard at that time, tall, long, second coming to Jalen Rose, I thought.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit more athletic than Jalen. Jalen probably controlled things better.
Yeah.
But I think I would take Damon's athleticism at that time. But like you said, Damon was a beast. But then, moving on to my next year, again, I got a Kenyon Martin coming in. I got a Ruben Patterson that I'm with. I got a Pete Michael that I'm playing with. I got a Steve Logan. I mean, the guys, again, that I had a chance to be around, man, and play with, man, was just unbelievable. And go somewhere else, or could have went somewhere else and just been the star of those groups. All right, so top 5. I'm going to obviously start where it all began, and what my dad always talked about. When I first got an opportunity to meet him, that was the first thing I told him. The rest of the soul, my father, but I said, you were my dad's favorite. He told me the first thing I needed to do when I got to the University of Cincinnati was to find you and shake your hand and say thank you. You know what I mean? I did just that because Oscar, we get into a whole bunch of other stuff. But those times that they played in, the things that they had to do, the areas they broke color wise, and the things they had to endure, a very strong individual. So, Oscar Robinson being number 1. All right. Obviously, we just talked about the guy, man, and he's a personal friend of mine and one of my all-time favorite Bearcats, Danny Fortson. We used to have a saying, thank God for Danny Fortson, because we'll be in situations in games and we needed something. We'll toss that some gun inside, and Danny got us exactly what was coming. But if it was an and one bucket or a foul, and then he was going to the line, he was knocking them free throws down. So, us at the end of the bench, me, Fletch, Terrence Davis, Rod Monroe, rest of soul, Big Rod. That was our statement. Thank God for Danny Fortson, because he saved the day for a lot of us. You know what I mean? A lot of times. So that's number 2. No particular order though.
Okay, there we go. I was gonna ask that.
3. I obviously got a chance to play with on the same team with this guy for a couple years. He came in under the same circumstances that I came in to the University of Cincinnati with the SAT situation, having to sit out the first 5 games because we passed the test on the last try. I watched him cry doing Midnight Madness, the same tears I shed at the year before, knowing how bad he wanted to be out there. And I told him, I said, man, don't worry. I said, it's coming. So you're going to be out here too. Next year, it's coming. You're going to have this moment. I said, I sat in your shoes. I sat in the same seat on the same sofa in the locker room and cried. Many tears because I couldn't be a part of tonight. But it's coming. And to watch that next year come around and how excited he was just to be a part of the team. And then watch the maturation process from year to year that I had with him was just unbelievable. the crowd used to moan when this guy went to the free throw line and got ready to shoot free throws. And he knew who I'm talking about. I'm talking to you, all right? You were my guy coming in here, but again, watching you do what you did, man, you think you became everybody's guy and everybody's favorite. You walked the walk, you talked the talk, you did it the right way. You spent 4 years of grinding and working on yourself, and you became this ultimate beast. And even with the catastrophic injury that took place, you still went number one. So, my guy, Amar, Big Ken. You know what I mean? Again, I got several years with the guy. I watched him dominate and do some unbelievable things out there on the basketball court. So, seeing is believing. He passes the eye test, if that's what it's called or whatever. But all time, yes, he's on that list. 4. This is where it starts to get a little hairy, because again, man, we got some unbelievable guys, man, with some unbelievable talent that come through here and did some unbelievable things. And again, I'm not about appreciation, about giving guys their flowers. One guy again that I had an opportunity to grace the floor with and watch his game progress and watch his whole mannerism, his body changed, his mind state changed about what he was doing. And he ended up being just one of our, our top scorers, another one of our top scorers in our school history. And that's Slow Mo, Steve Lowe.
Okay.
I mean, you couldn't rush him. We call him slow motion because he had his own pace, and he tried to speed that dude up. And he just had this way of just hold you up. You probably experienced it a little bit, maybe in some open gyms or, maybe it's the summer league at times, maybe playing against someone. Man, Lowe had this ability, man, just to kind of, do what he wanted to do. And again, he showed and he proved, man, with his scoring numbers over his career, being there, obviously top 5, I think. And number 5, young guy. We got a chance to know him obviously after he left a little bit. It was cool to watch his maturation process and understand his story. How some of the things that went on in his recruiting process. How he wanted to leave and go back home, and his mom said, "This is the best place for you. Coach Cronin is going to take care of you. Just believe in him. Trust him." And I'm glad he did. Because again, the guy ended up having an unbelievable career, man, and garnered some big time accolades, and obviously get drafted into the league. But Sean Kilpatrick, that's probably my guy. I'll give the flowers to for the younger generation of guys that I did get an opportunity to play with, that I did get a chance to admire and see their game and get inspired by. But he was probably most known.
Hey, I was just happy to hear somebody young.
Okay, thank you.
She was throwing me off. I was like, I know you're not finna give me all the 90s.
Oh, no, man. I spread out the wealth. I spread the wealth, man.
Make this easy. All right. I think that next one was the best point guard. And that's even me saying that. All right. Sean to me was the best 2 guard. 3 guard, I would go. That's a rough thing.
Wow, dudes at 3 positions. That 3 positions is crazy loaded. Crazy.
How about we move Sean down and I take, because I got Nick, I got Sean, I got Gary Clark. That's 1, 2, 3. You got to go Oscar. I feel like Oscar should not be counted in this.
Okay.
I feel like he's like the ultimate Bearcat. So it's like,
Okay, well, if you're gonna,
you're
gonna do that, we'll
Yeah.
make him.
we all know he's the GOAT.
All right, so
So it's
go
like-
ahead and add Eric Clark to my list, with Oscar being where he is.
All right, so you got to go Kiki Martin. That's 4. All right, so the 5th one to me.
Hey, man, the list is crazy.
I like Low, but I'm like, no.
What you looking for, a center?
No.
Yo, if y'all want to chime in, go ahead and chime in that chat. Get in the chat. Send us what you think your top 5 University of Cincinnati Bearcats are. We might get some more surprises before the night's over. Go ahead and tap in that chat. We here. We waiting on you. We live. But you did it by position, though. That's what I should have thought of. That was pretty cool, though. To break it down by position.
That's center.
Steve, got it. We're on there.
You think Steve Lowe was top five?
Hell yeah.
I just think if we go positions, I think Lowe is like a two guard,
That's your Cleveland guy.
right? Lowe's a two guard,
Land.
and I just think that he was really cold. But I like Sean,
Yeah.
and maybe that's just because he's my era.
I know, bro.
So that's that. I mean, bro, it's really good. They got Maxfield,
You gotta have a six man. You know,
Corey Blunt when he
Corey Blunt. Damn. Felt like him.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
People forget Lance went to 690.
Very short stint. At the
Lance
same time,
Lance Stevenson went to Lance. Yeah.
watching some of his highlights, man, and that short time that he was here.
Born
the
ready.
answer. What was his nickname?
Born ready.
Born ready.
Yeah, see, that's the.
Wow.
Born ready. Some people don't realize that Lance even went to Cincinnati.
That's crazy.
Best story ever. 6 o'clock morning practices. I've never seen anybody ready to go. Like that to me showed me that he was going to be a pro way before he was going to wait before I saw it.
So he was up with
Hey,
before everybody.
how most of us on
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning. Coach Mom, we got to be here. He was running down the hill to get there.
What?
Antonio Winfield. nigga.
Yeah, I don't know how much I went for.
Thank God. That was one when I first came in. Don changed the game though from that forward position. Crazy though, man. That was like one of those things. Like if Don stick around one more year, coming in with Danny, I mean that's where again the scholarship stuff gets crazy. And like some people wouldn't even see Cincinnati if some people stayed around. We got to go back to where again if D'Antonio stayed.
It's like
Coming
Stephen Perkins.
in with Danny Force in that next year and the team that we had. I mean, we went to Elite Eight with that squad.
And what was the guy that broke his leg? Did I say him?
Gabe Damar, yeah.
No. I think he broke his leg like in the pros or something. But he was he came in with Antonio Winfield, the guard. He played in the NBA for a couple years. I think he messed his leg up.
Nick,
No,
I say Nick came next to me.
no, man, what was it doing?
Satterfield.
Was it Satterfield? No, not Satterfield.
we gotta look that one up.
I think he messed his leg up in it. I think he's from like a Georgia or something too. He messed his leg up. Either in the league or he left early. No, but he messed his leg up. I think he got in a car accident or a motorcycle accident.
Oh, they don't talk Jason Williams. You talking about?
No.
He got something about.
No, a UC guy.
Can't be together on that.
That's a UC guy. I remember it, but it's a UC guy.
I was trying to figure that one out.
I think check.
Yeah, that list there, man, is crazy because again, like you just said, you know, we got so many different guys, man, from so many different eras. You know what I mean? That
All-time favorite. Like,
What year?
maybe,
did their thing out there.
but maybe not the best player. Who's your all-time favorite teammate?
All-time favorite teammate. Oh man, that's my man, DeJuan Baker. Some people call us twins. Baker was a shooter. A lot of people may remember DeJuan Baker from the NCAA tournament fame. You know, knocking down shots against Northern Arizona. Then coming back the next day and almost put West Virginia away for us. But, you know, Ruben Patterson's middle finger had to be as long as it is. You know what I mean? Ruben, your middle finger was probably the size of mine. You missed that ball and it hits the backboard and ricochets off to about half court. The fact that Ruben jumps and tries to block this shot, his middle finger, tip of it touches the ball, and it stops the trajectory of the spin.
I forgot about Ruben too.
So it slows the spin down, and he banks it in. DeJuan Baker's man, good friend of mine, man.
DeMar Johnson.
Oh, DJ, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man, yeah.
All right. I'm sorry.
DJ came in for 1 year though. He was on the 1 year fame.
With Antonio Winfield, wasn't that the same year?
No. He was 2000. He was around 2000.
Oh, okay.
Don was 94. Yeah, 94, something like that. So that was that part. But yeah, obviously, definitely, DJ was one of those just sleep short shooters.
DJ like what, 6'10"?
That's when you started to see things kind of change around here. That started bringing in some guys, man, and the recruiting changed. And then got to a real plateau, so to speak, as far as national prominence when Ken became a junior and senior. Guys were like really looking at it like you were looking at it. kind of like I was looking at it. We're watching Nick Van Exel and Corey Blunt up at their Final Four Elite Eight runs. I know DJ and King Satterfield, those guys, Lynch Stokes,
About case that.
you know, all those guys were inspired by, you know, what those guys were being single force. It's a thing, man. Our program is built on tradition. I'm happy to have made the decision to become a Bearcat because it's been the best decision for me. Again, my relationships and the people that I got a chance to meet, players outside of my generation that I got a chance to kind of, you know, become friends with, and obviously with you know, helping that whole Bearcat Jam thing come together in 2018, man, was pretty huge, man, because that was one of the other things that I thought that, you know, I was looking at that tournament and like, man, we got tradition. I mean, we got history. You know what I mean? And we got just some big time basketball as well, just like some of these other programs, man. And we need to be, you know, seen and shown in that fashion. So to kind of put that together, man, and have you guys kind of do that, you know, help bring that to fruition, and I'll always be indebted to you guys for that, man. So I totally appreciate you coming along and, you know, taking that position, even though you were banged up, you know, had with the knee injury, and then you came out, man, and gave us what you had, man. But that was being there for the logo. That was being there for the brand. That wasn't about no. I mean, that was about being there for the brand and being there for the logo, man. So, you know, I love to see, so I appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. All of us, man. We had so much fun. Most of us didn't even think about having a TBT team till that came up. This whole process of UC Bearcats having a TBT team basically came from that idea. So I mean, we all extremely appreciative of you, you know, stepping stone and putting us out there like that.
Yeah, we'll call us what the pioneers of it.
That's right.
Obviously, Nasty Natty took it over, and hope they get that thing back together, man, because they were just right there, man, right on the brink, man. You were coaching that team, you know, ready to take that jump. So I want to see y'all put that team back together, man, and go get that money. Definitely. Couple minutes here before we go to a break. We'll come back right after that. I'm going to talk a little bit about obviously a new opportunity over at Walnut Hills as the new varsity basketball coach. What we can expect, things like that. And we'll talk about this past weekend's shootout that you had as well. Hopefully, you guys brought in some funds.
Yeah, we definitely want.
That's the most important thing. Obviously, man, you want to you know create funds for your program before your school. You know, by doing the session and obviously hosting an event, things like that. But then ultimately, you want to go out and compete. You want to have fun with your kids. So, talk a little bit about that when we come back.
Sounds good. talk right now.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, to the We Not Box Here podcast, sponsored by Order Impact Community Services, Finding Water, and the Stimulab, the place with kids. Gonna jump into now this new opportunity that we want to get into a little bit. As far as this new high school coaching opportunity here at Walnut Hills Cash. First off, congratulations with it. It's just really obviously cool to see the work obviously put in paying off. I know you started a little bit out with the AAU situation with the One Vision. All right, and took care of business there. Obviously, seeing you out there grinding with the kids and working them and doing your thing and taking those steady, gradual steps. Didn't really go for it like a lot of other people do sometimes. Sometimes we go in, want to get in the coaching, we want to sweep for the fence, get that top position. But you were a guy that didn't mind in the work. And that's what teaching and coaching is about, man. Sometimes it's about starting off with that lucrative job, with 5 studs on your team that you get to sat out there and go do everything. Sometimes you have to start the building process, and I've always been a part of building process, whatever coaching job I had. So I'm not, stranger to that. So it's cool to see your hard work pay off with this new opportunity to on the hills. So if you guys just talk a little bit about that opportunity that's coming up and what's to be expected.
It's been a journey, to be honest with you. One Vision started, which is the AAU program, which started the training program, to be honest with you. 6 or 7 years ago. I've been assistant coach, been at St. Bernard for a summer. I've been at Norwood for a year. I've been at assistant at Clark for 3 years before I got the head coach job. So it's been a long process of just learning. But learning. One thing I've learned, and a lot of people don't talk about, we as athletes, especially if you're a great athlete or a good athlete, you come with an ego. What I've learned over these 7 years is to drop that ego and to learn that what I did in the past doesn't really matter and translates to what I do now. I want to be known as one of the best coaches ever. Playing basketball, that part of my life it's pretty much over. I mean, not pretty much, it's over. I enjoy coaching. I enjoy watching the process of these kids get better. I enjoy watching them get goal facing and reach levels they probably never thought in their mind would be possible.
Let's get some about it today. A lot of coaches take their opportunities sometimes at the coaching level, and sometimes the vision gets distorted, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy for that to happen. So many outside entities. You speak about again, not being afraid to get your hands dirty. The process of just watching the kid mature and get to that level where they didn't think they could get to before they started. So that's really cool.
That's smart though, I mean, you think about it. I tell people all the time, my story's a little different. I got cut in 8th grade. So when you really think about it, I wasn't really very good at basketball. You got cut in 8th grade. I wasn't that good. So to see that process and that
They
happen.
were probably looking for just taller guys.
No.
They just wanted a big.
So here's the truth for all the kids out here, right? 8th grade, I was full of myself. I thought that I was a lot better than I was. I thought that I already had it figured out when I didn't. And it took me getting cut to actually wake me up to say, hey, bro, you ain't everything you think you are. All right. So, but also showed me that you can reach levels you can only imagine in the course of a summer. I went from being a practically nobody to 8th grade year getting cut, like I said, to my freshman year. By the end of the summer, I was the #1 point guard in the state. Wow. Right? So imagine that. You get cut in 8th grade. At the end of your 9th grade year, you're #1.
Crazy.
Right?
So that's work.
But that's also how fast life can change. And that's what I try to tell these kids. I'm like, listen, your wife, you willing to put in the work to do what you got to do, and you got somebody with a clear vision of what you need to do, there you go. I mean, but a lot of times, especially nowadays, people listen to people who never did it. People listen to people who with outside motives. Maybe, they want something out the deal.
Yeah.
I was fortunate to have people around me who didn't know. I was the first one from Savannah to go straight to college. And we talking 20, 25 years. So everybody around me did not know what the success was, but they knew they wanted me to be successful. So that was the best part about it.
That's cool stuff. What can we possibly expect from the Walden Eagles? I know a lot has changed this year with high school basketball. First off, with coaches, there are a lot of different coaches going to a lot of different places. At the same time, there are a lot of kids going to a lot of different places.
Like the transfer portal, right?
So that's why it's interesting to kind of just ask you. I don't want to put you on the spot with that because you may have a kid that may come from that situation. But what do you think about the kids being able to transfer now and just be eligible automatically? Do you think it's really affecting negatively, or is it something that, again, positively, that's something if you do it the right way, if it's the system's being used the right way, you can see obviously some maybe hearing, what we call it,
No, it's just
a
that
level playing field, so to speak. They call it, this is the third word they call it.
it's never gonna be level though. No,
That's true.
it's never gonna be level. I feel like in that situation, speaking as an athlete, I look at it two different ways. As a former player, I look at it as with a former coach, you can basically a coach can like me. I left my school and I'm able to coach the next year, right? So I feel some type of way like I did it as an athlete when the coaches can make these decisions and move and not and play a coach, but the players can't. So what's the difference between me as an athlete if I want to switch schools and go play for this person versus that person versus my coach leaving from this
Right,
person to
yeah.
that place and he's able to coach and make money?
Right, because he's probably gone that 6 months later
Yeah,
after that season, and you're still there thinking that, you formed a relationship and you came to the school possibly for that relationship with that coach. And again, next thing, like I said, 6 months later, he has accepted jobs somewhere else, which, you can't fault.
but
The profession is about
yeah, step it up.
moving up. So,
But also, it makes it to the point where you look at it like, hey, do they really do like when they say they? I'm talking about like OSHA and stuff like that. People like, do they really value relationships that like the coaches are building with the kids? So for instance, like you got the rule that if a coach leaves, the kid can't leave with him, right? So think about that. Like I built a relationship with this kid for 2 years, teaching them, putting them on the right track, helping them accomplish the goals. And now I want to further myself. Let's say this school doesn't pay X amount of money, and I want to make more money for my family. I can't take this kid that I built a relationship with me to this school, even though it's a better school, a better environment, and this kid will be successful here. I can't take him here because the rule says a kid can't follow a coach, which to me doesn't make sense because he can transfer anywhere else to play.
it's true. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know it was that.
Oh yes, there's a lot of rules I'm learning in coaching, and I'm like, just doesn't make sense to me. And it's like also when you look at it, it could be one of those things where we talk about like the nail money. When I was in school, I was always trying to figure out how come we couldn't get paid. I remember vividly my senior year, I went to Dick's, right? Dick's was selling a #1 Cincinnati jersey for $79. I didn't have $79. So imagine that. You're selling my jersey for more money than I actually have in my pocket. And I get nothing. And if I do get something, I can't play.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's what this new NIL whole thing's about, man. That's
Take the O'Bannons.
Yeah.
So,
But hopefully it trickles down to college. I mean, not to college, to high school.
well, yeah, I had seen something that started to trickle down to college. I know the University of Cincinnati just hired General Manager Corey Evans, formerly of the OKC Thunder.
Okay.
He was an evaluation scout there. But I'm seeing this part of a trend that's going around in college basketball now. 10% of colleges are adapting, so to speak, to this new idea of having a general manager, possibly help step in and take a little bit heat off of coaches when it comes to this whole NIL process. And I've seen that it's kind of trickled down a little bit to a couple of the high schools here locally. And just to mention, I think the one guy you just hired is a general manager, right, for your school?
Oh, yeah. Coach Rose.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, so that's something again I just happened to come across and see it, and obviously we were talking about it, for this podcast. And again, just looking at different trends, man. We were talking about the portal for college. It's kind of like now in high school, it's kind of filtered itself down. So the last thing that need to kind of filter itself down is the NIL process.
Exactly.
So do you think the NIL process,
I think
if it was to filter itself to high school, do you think that it can be something that can be tamed?
I think it goes back to just like in college. I feel like they're gonna have to salary cap it on. If you put a cap on it, and you basically, certain schools gonna have more money because of the alumni.
Yes.
That's just a part of it. So every school won't be able to afford, X amount of money. But when you look at it truthfully, Kentucky has nailed. Those kids in Kentucky get paid. So when you talk about we're so in Cincinnati, we're so close to Kentucky. We're actually losing kids to Kentucky because they can make money over there. So it's kind of like, there's a lot. I can get to sit here all day.
Well, the Kennedy kid is one of the examples, right?
Okay.
Over there.
Funny story about that. Funniest story about this. All right. So take Kenny. All right. This is 2015. I am working with practice like training at Griffin Elite, right, in Kentucky with his dad. Now, Chuck.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now I'm talking about
Chuck,
yeah. What up, Chuck?
Chuck, Kenny, the Kenny family, man. You guys are doing big things.
Yeah.
Continue to
Hey.
do what y'all doing, man.
But the funny part is, we're talking about 9 years ago. His kid was working out with me when I was a pro. Like, think about that. So to see where he is now is not surprising to me.
So again, as you just heard, that you cannot cheat the process.
Nah.
You do not go to sleep and wake up 6'8". Some kids have made a growth spurt 5 inches, but you don't go to sleep and wake up LeBron James. You don't go to sleep and wake up this elite athlete. Obviously, this kid's been putting in the work, as Casper right to say. So what you're seeing Kenny do is well deserved.
Hey, and not surprising to somebody like who was there.
That's
That's the story I tell about everybody. I told my son.
I appreciate
I'm like, man, I saw this kid when he was little, seeing him in the gym with Chuck, seeing him in the gym, like working with his OAU program. I got videos of him when he was little.
right.
And it's like, man, it's just to see him now, it's like, man, that is truly shows you what real work can happen. Which, if you put in real work, you can accomplish anything. And he's a pure example of that.
Real quick before we end the show, expectations. Don't want to put you there on the spot. Can you just talk about it?
All right.
Yeah, for one,
Uh-huh.
do you have any expectations for the team this year? You got a couple standouts that's going to help you out, stuff like that.
Listen here. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised about how good we actually are. Because walking into the door, I had one assumption of what I thought a 9-13 team was. But now that I'm there, I'm going to just put it out here like this. In the course of June, we've only lost 3 games.
That's what I was going to say. You had a shootout this past weekend.
Now, the shootout, I would say, Walnut Hills is Walnut Hill. So I had a lot of kids on vacations and things like that. But for the most part, as a full team, I can say comfortably we went 19-3.
Yeah, I followed the first couple of weeks that you guys got out there and you posted some things about going, undefeated the first couple of weekends and stuff like that.
Yep.
That's great.
We got some great kids. Shout out to them guys. Your team captain, you got Charlie, part gonna be all conference. You got Landon. You talk about you can jump now. I got to get you to meet this kid. Matter of fact, I got Mel and Dame. I got 2 kids that I would say you would look at it, you would like, man, high flying thing. I'm talking 360 opposite ways.
Elite jumpers.
Elite. Between the legs, wall of lines.
Oh, well, I want to come see that.
That's not, hey, you are more than welcome. I'm gonna do we're gonna do a big night of Eagle Madness, and I'm gonna invite you there.
Oh, that's all.
You got to see the show.
I remember when I did that out in Middletown, man. We called it Mini Madness. It was just something that I just thought maybe the basketball program, something like the kids would just really, really enjoy it. I would tell you what, man, the way the parents receive that, the kids had a great time that night. Obviously, us as coaches, we had a ball, but just seeing our kids, man, have a good time, be noticed. We brought up the middle school team and all the little kids and all that. Actually, the copter was still dunking at that time, man. I jumped over 3. You know what I mean?
The crop that was still dunking. You can't dunk down? I can't
It's
believe
the
it.
coming down part.
I can't.
It's not the getting up part. It's the coming down part. You know, gravity don't hold me like it used to.
You got
I can't hover like I used to hover. I get up there, take care of business. I'm coming down real quick. You know what I mean? But no, we're excited, man, as a Bearcat family, man. Obviously, all our guys that are having success, you know, we try to let people know that we are still around here locally. A lot of things that pop up. Sometimes people go, I didn't know you were still here. Well, I think the University of Cincinnati need to do a better job of putting the former players out there that are here locally and doing great things here, you know, in the community. And, you know, Casimir Wright is one of those guys and he's been around for a long time. So it's kind of cool again to see him getting his flowers for one, but yet an opportunity to take it to the next level. Again, we talked about the NIL process, we talked about boosters and stuff like that. Y'all get some pretty good boosters from y'all.
Wanna?
Some pretty good,
Yes, we got some shout out to these guys out.
so what I'm going to say is
Shout out to
basically,
OZ. What's up, man? First call I got when I got the job. OZ was the first call I got.
man, me and OZ go way back. That's a great guy though, man.
And that's the thing I can't on the phone conversation with.
From basketball to now, obviously in the city, the stuff that he does, city council, and just he's branched out into so many different things, man. Just to see him, obviously his progression, it's been really cool. So, but you mentioned that guy, man. He's an amazing figure. But at the same time, again, your alumni with that, and that if the NIL does come, your alumni is pretty esteemed, so you should be all right.
Oh, good. So we can get some of these nice. Once again, hey, if you're looking for a school to go to, Walnut Hills is the school. Once again, #1 academic school in the state. So if you're a parent and you got your son, why not send him to Walnut? No, we #1 in the state. We top, I think top 30 in the world.
Wow.
So I mean, at the end of the day, and that's here in Cincinnati. That's a public school. You don't have to pay to go here. Why not come here? Right? You got a great coach, D1, great contacts. You meet people like Mel. Come on now. Exactly.
I love to come out there and help.
I got Justin Jackson's on the staff.
So we spoke about a little bit, obviously, with the celebrity softball game that you're going to be joining.
Yep,
This in the next couple of weeks. Justin's going to be on that team as well.
that's right.
So that's exciting, man. Again, to have you guys back around here, obviously, you're coaching, doing great things still in the community, but at the same time, you're going into the community and doing little things like, you know, playing in charity, you know, events like that obviously raise money for so many instances. Before you go, Bearcats. Any predictions for the Bearcat basketball team this year? Have you seen some of those guys?
All right, so this is what's year. Right? This is the year. It has to be the year. So what I'm looking for is a let's say 25-7.
Oh, you're throwing numbers out.
Oh yeah. 25-7.
Okay. All right.
I think that's a reasonable number for us to get to. I can see that happen.
That's some blood down there, man. I was watching those guys the last couple of weeks, man. Their recruiting class looks obviously pretty good with numbers. Obviously, when they talk about ranks, I think like that to watch them, looking at them. You saw like height, guys are physical, man. They're moving. So they don't seem to be as yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they don't
once
seem like
again,
they're jumping right into things right now. So it's exciting to see. You know, it's always good to have some new blood. And so it's gonna be something exciting to see down there.
my only hope is that we go down the path of Bearcat basketball and scramble defensive end. I feel like if we can do that, if we can go back to what Bearcat basketball is actually about, it may be successful. Because we all know at the end of the day, the defense is going to take care of everything for us,
Right.
and then the fans will be happier
Exactly.
because that's truly what they want. That this is a school that's built off grit that we talked about earlier. So if you don't come with that type of grit, that type of grind, it becomes difficult. But I think we got the team for it. I think West is ready for it, and I think this is the year.
Yeah, we've hung our hat on defense in the past. You know, it's time to kind of use a little bit more than athleticism, you know, full court guys. Kind of, you know, press up a little bit more, create some more opportunities offensively, easy opportunities offensively as well. But as you said, you know, I think looking at, you know, Wes making his mark this year, I've been behind him, you know, ever since he got here. He's a guy that's obviously understands our tradition, understands where the program is built from. So looking forward to seeing, you know, what combinations he can put together. But at the same time, I think it's going to be a great brand of basketball down there, Fifth Third this year. So make sure you get down there and check it out.
Let's go.
All right. That's a wrap for tonight. You know, I want to thank my guest, Mr. Cashner, right here, and wish you the best of luck down there at Walnut Hills. Bearcats for life. This has been We Not Boxed In podcast, sponsored by On Impact Recruiting Services, Pawnee Water, and the STEM Lab, the place where smart kids have fun. I had left that out earlier. That smart part, all right? It's not just kids. It's the place where smart kids have fun. Make sure you tap into that. Tap into the website. Cash, let me know where you can follow you on social.
Oh wow. Cashmere right underscore. You got I'm Cashmere right underscore everywhere. So it's Twitter, you got Instagram, you can follow me also. Follow Walnut Hills Basketball, One Vision Elite Basketball. Yeah, we doing it all.
Let's go Eagles. Let's go Bearcats.
Hey, go Lakers.